Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden behind the ordinary facades of our daily lives? The answer might be more profound than you imagine. The evening lights of downtown Portland painted a soft picture as Nathan Cooper gazed out from his 23rd floor office. At 31, he had everything his father had envisioned: a thriving investment firm, a luxurious penthouse, wealth enough to span generations. Yet, since the passing of his beloved wife, Claire, 18 months prior, leaving him the sole parent to their 5-year-old daughter, Emma, success felt empty, like an echo from a past life. Gray now touched his dark hair, a premature aging born of sorrow and the weight of single fatherhood. His impeccable attire and grooming spoke of a man who upheld appearances even as his world crumbled, attending board meetings and parent-teacher conferences with unwavering dedication, though neither sparked joy any longer. The singular beacon in his meticulously structured existence was Sophia Martinez, the young woman who had transformed their house from a place of quiet grief into something resembling a home. At 26, Sophia radiated a natural warmth that comforted children and reminded adults how to smile freely. Her blonde hair often carried traces of finger paint or playground sand, and her kind eyes held an endless flow of compassion for everyone she met. Sophia had been caring for Emma for 8 months, and Nathan had watched in awe as his daughter slowly emerged from the shell of grief that had enveloped her after her mother's death. Under Sophia's care, Emma had rediscovered laughter, raced through the house with childlike abandon, and asked questions about the world with curiosity rather than fear. But this night, unease tugged at Nathan. Earlier that day, he had overheard a phone conversation that had left him with more questions than answers. Sophia had been speaking softly in the kitchen, her voice tinged with worry and determination as she assured someone she would find a solution. When she noticed Nathan, she ended the call abruptly. He tried to dismiss his concern, but her demeanor afterward, her unusual quietness during dinner, planted a seed of worry. As he watched the city below, he made a decision that would have surprised anyone who knew his calculated nature. When Sophia left the penthouse, carrying her worn bag and wearing the pink sweater that Emma adored, claiming it made her look like a fairy princess, Nathan found himself following her. He reasoned that he was being protective, watching over someone invaluable to his family's well-being. But deep down, he knew his motives were more complex. Driven by a growing awareness that Sophia was more than just Emma's caregiver, Nathan trailed her through the city, maintaining a distance. She boarded a bus to a neighborhood he rarely visited, an area where the buildings were older and the streets less polished than the downtown district he knew. As twilight deepened, Nathan watched Sophia enter a modest community center, its windows casting a warm glow against the evening sky. Overcome with curiosity, Nathan approached the building and peered through the windows facing the street. What he saw stopped him completely, anchoring him to the sidewalk as understanding washed over him. Sophia stood in the center of a large room, surrounded by elderly residents of what was clearly a senior living facility. She was leading them in gentle exercises, her movements slow and deliberate as she helped an elderly man with a walker maintain his balance. Her face radiated the same patience and care she showed Emma, but amplified, encompassing an entire room of people who clearly adored her. Nathan watched as Sophia moved from person to person, adjusting posture, offering encouragement, and helping a woman in a wheelchair participate in the modified movements. The residents' faces lit up when she spoke to them, and Nathan could see the genuine affection flowing between them. After the exercise session, Nathan continued to observe as Sophia helped serve dinner, sitting with residents who appeared to have no other visitors, listening intently to their stories, sharing laughter over shared memories. She moved through the dining room like a daughter visiting beloved grandparents, brushing an elderly woman's hair, helping a man with arthritis cut his food, ensuring no one sat alone. As the evening unfolded, Nathan understood why Sophia sometimes seemed tired during her early morning arrivals at his penthouse, why she occasionally declined his offers to pay for expensive outings with Emma, why she wore the same few outfits in careful rotation. She was volunteering her time, giving hours of unpaid service to people who needed the care she provided so naturally. When Sophia finally emerged from the building near 9 p.m., Nathan retreated into the shadows, his mind reeling with questions and a profound shift in perspective. He walked home slowly, processing what he had witnessed and its implications for everything he thought he knew about the young woman who had become so vital to his daughter's happiness. The next morning, Nathan found Sophia in the kitchen preparing Emma's breakfast with her usual cheerful efficiency. Emma chattered happily about her plans for the day, while Sophia braided her hair with gentle precision. The scene was so peaceful that Nathan hesitated to disturb it. "Sophia," he said quietly, accepting the cup of coffee she handed him with her customary thoughtfulness. "Could we talk for a moment after Emma leaves for school?" Something in his tone must have concerned her, because Nathan saw a flicker of worry cross her face. "Of course, Mr. Cooper. Is everything all right?" After Emma was dropped off at school with hugs and promises of afternoon activities, Nathan and Sophia sat in his living room overlooking the city. The morning light streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows highlighted the fine lines around Sophia's eyes, subtle signs of someone who gave more than she kept. "Sophia, I need to ask you something, and I hope you'll trust me enough to be completely honest." Nathan watched as she straightened slightly, bracing herself for whatever difficult conversation was to come. "Last night, I followed you after work," Nathan continued, watching her eyes widen in surprise. "I saw you at the senior center. I saw what you do there, how you care for those residents, how much they clearly mean to you." Sophia's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "Mr. Cooper, I can explain. It doesn't interfere with my work here, I promise. I would never let anything interfere." "Sophia, stop," Nathan said gently but firmly. "I'm not concerned about your work here. I'm concerned about you. How long have you been volunteering there?" 3 years, she said quietly, "since I moved to Portland. I started going because my grandmother lived in a place like that before she passed, and I remembered how much the volunteers meant to her. These residents, some of them don't have any family left or their families live far away. They just need someone to see them, to remember their names, to treat them like they still matter." Nathan felt something shift in his chest, a recognition of depth and character that went far beyond what he had already observed. "And you do this every evening after working here all day?" "Not every evening," Sophia said, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. "Just Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturday afternoons. It's not a big deal, Mr. Cooper." "It's the biggest deal in the world," Nathan said softly. "Sophia, do you realize what you've shown me about kindness, about what it means to live a life of service to others?" Nathan stood and walked to the window, gathering his thoughts. When he turned back to Sophia, his expression held a seriousness that made her sit up straighter. "I want to make you an offer, and I need you to hear me out completely before you respond." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "I've been thinking about establishing a foundation, something focused on elder care and improving the lives of seniors in our community. What I saw last night convinced me that you should be the one to run it." Sophia's eyes widened with confusion. "Mr. Cooper, I don't understand. I'm not qualified to run a foundation. I'm just a nanny." "You're not just anything," Nathan said firmly. "You're someone who sees need and responds to it without expecting recognition or reward. You're someone who gives love freely to a child who isn't yours and to elderly people who have no claim on your time. That's not just qualification for running a foundation. That's the only qualification that truly matters." Over the following weeks, as Nathan and Sophia worked together to develop the foundation, their relationship evolved in ways neither had expected. Nathan discovered that Sophia's insights into human nature, her ability to see what people truly needed rather than what they claimed to want, were exactly what had been missing from his carefully structured but emotionally sterile life. Sophia, in turn, saw past Nathan's wealth and success to the grieving widower who was doing his best to raise a daughter while honoring his late wife's memory. She watched him struggle with the balance between providing for Emma and being present for her, between protecting his heart and remaining open to the possibility of love. 6 months later, at the grand opening of the Cooper Foundation's first senior center, Nathan stood beside Sophia as they watched Emma distribute flowers to the residents, her young face glowing with the joy of giving. The facility was state-of-the-art, but its heart was the same spirit of care and attention that Sophia had brought to the modest community center where Nathan had first truly seen her. "You know," Nathan said quietly as they watched Emma help an elderly man tend the garden they had planted together, "I thought I was following you that night to learn about you, but I think I was really following you to learn about myself." Sophia smiled, her entire face lighting up. What did you learn? That love isn't something you lose when tragedy strikes. It's something that multiplies when you find people worth sharing it with. Nathan paused, watching his daughter laugh with pure delight as the elderly residents shared stories and treats. You taught me that the heart's capacity for love isn't limited by loss. It's expanded by the courage to keep loving anyway. Years later, when people asked Nathan Cooper about the most important business decision he had ever made, he would tell them about the night he followed his daughter's nanny and discovered that true wealth isn't measured in bank accounts or stock portfolios, but in the legacy of love we leave through the lives we touch. And Sophia, now his wife and the mother Emma had chosen for herself, would add with a smile, "Sometimes the most important discoveries happen when we stop looking for what we think we need and start noticing what we already have right in front of us."